Hello, everyone. I'm Bo from Brutal Commentary, and today I'm going to be breaking down our next matchup for UFC Rio. In this one, we have Vitor Petrino taking on Thomas Peterson. Petrino is 12-2 as a professional, 3-2 in his last five fights, while Peterson is 10-3 as a professional, him as well, 3-2 in his last five fights. For Petrino, it was undefeated in coming into UFC and was riding and was continuing that undefeated streak for a bit in these last five fights. One of those two being a knockout over Lucas Bresky, which is aged incredibly well, and then a win over Tyson Pedro, who retired after that fight. Then at UFC 301, Petrino got his shot at the rankings when he took on Anthony Smith and became the last win of Anthony Smith's career when, in a negative fight IQ move, he just shot for a guillotine, no setup, and lifted Smith up, and all it did was help Smith tighten the choke up. Then last December, he took on Dustin Jacoby and got knocked out pretty brutally. It kind of looked like, he might be done at what could be the top level of light heavyweight. So he decided to apply his trade and move up to heavyweight. And so far has breeded success as this July, Petrino submitted Austin Lane, and I'm pretty sure booted him out of the UFC. As for Peterson, trading wins and losses throughout his four fights in the UFC. He lost to Jamal Pogues in a very weird fight, then beat Muhammad Usman in more or less what I thought was a good, well-rounded decision. Then he got knocked out by Shamil Gaziev this February, and then now in this May, he beats Dontel Mays via a wrestle heavy decision. I know looking at this, some people might think, man, Vitor Petrino, such an athlete, explosive, good grappling, good striking, power in both hands, all that stuff. He should kind of run through Thomas Peterson more or less. I don't necessarily think that. I know Thomas Peterson doesn't have the best skills at heavyweight. Just doesn't have the best skills, but they're serviceable for heavyweight. But what I think really makes this fight a lot closer than what I think it is, well, I don't think it's like the odds should be a pick'em or nothing. I do think Petrino's the clear favorite. But I think there's some things in this matchup where Thomas Peterson might have a fighting chance. If you look at his last four fights, I thought, or at least for me, I've seen a steady increase in how he's been able to perform. Jamal Pogues, pretty much a stain on the record. But since then, he put on a much better performance against Muhammad Usman, where he won in the striking and won in the wrestling against what looked like a much, not only just stronger athlete, just like look a better athlete overall. But Peterson, stuck to the game plan, used good striking, good wrestling moments, and kept better pressure. Overall, I just thought, that was a great performance by Thomas Peterson. And then even in the loss to Shamil Gaziev, where he did get knocked out, he had a lot of moments, I thought. He was using good striking moments, actually took Shamil Gaziev down. Now, he didn't keep him down, but he took him down, which I thought was very impressive. And again, was tagging him up on the feet. Then he got caught with the left straight in southpaw. And now most recently with the Dontel Mays fight, I just saw good fight IQ from Thomas Peterson, just, using the path of least resistance, that being using wrestling to take down Mays, who is notoriously terrible at wrestling. So throughout these fights, I've just seen a steady increase in the ability to do everything. Now, I'm not going to say at like the super elite level or anything like that. Like I'm not going, oh my God, Thomas Peterson, top 10 incoming. No. But what we have right now is a fighter who's just, steadily increasing his skills, which I greatly respect and think that is certainly something to keep in mind when looking at a fight like this. Now, how their skills match up, I think Vitor will definitely be the better striker. He's also got more power in his hands. And so, while Peterson has shown some better moments on the feet, like he does throw out a pretty good jab, and he is all right with his boxing, at least throws more than one punch. I still think Petrino is going to be not only the more explosive striker, but overall just the more powerful striker. That check left hook he's got is really good. He can lunge in with his strikes. As for the wrestling, I'm very curious to see how that is. Because, Peterson is going to be the biggest opponent. Austin Lane was pretty big too, so I guess I would take that back. But it's going to be interesting to see how Petrino, who has offensive grappling and offensive wrestling himself, is going to handle someone like Peterson, who has like a college background in wrestling as well. I'm kind of intrigued to see how that all plays out. But I feel like Petrino, technique wise, is going to be the better overall wrestler and grappler. Strength, I probably lean towards Petrino. Overall, I think what separates this fight is athleticism. And with that, I believe, Petrino has that in spades. So looking at it from just like also the physical specs, 6'2" with a 77.5-inch reach for Petrino, then to the 6'1" with a 74-inch reach for Peterson. I think of all the athletic tools, Petrino has it. Height, reach, explosiveness. He just has all the requisite attributes that help a lot of heavyweight fighters win. Because in this type of division, while skills are absolutely essential, sometimes attributes beat skills. You've seen it many times in this division. And again, I think it's going to do it again. Though this time, Petrino has both the skills and the physical attributes to win. And again, all the big reason I'm picking Petrino is I just think he's just the overall better athlete than Thomas Peterson. I don't think Thomas Peterson is a bad underdog to pick, but I just think Vitor Petrino has just one too many ways to win. Looking at the odds, minus 265 for Petrino, plus 205 for Peterson. If you think there's some value on the Peterson money or underdog line, I don't blame you. In fact, I had, kind of flirted with the idea, should I pick Peterson? I mean, he's certainly grown better. And you would think if he gets to like a top position or something with his own wrestling, he might be able to win minutes off the round. And his striking isn't like terrible. He could have some moments on the feet, but I don't really see it happening. I think Petrino's going to catch Peterson. Peterson, for the improvements I've said he still hasn't shown good head movement. He doesn't have the best chin. I do think Petrino can crack him and possibly finish him. So I'm going to pick Vitor Petrino, and I think he's going to win via knockout. That's what I'm seeing. But with that being said, that's been my breakdown of this matchup. If you like the video, comment and subscribe. I love to hear your opinions, and I'd like to hear how you guys think this fight's going to go. Next up, we'll have our featured prelim, which is Rafael Filio taking on Clayton Carpenter in what might be the sleeper of the card. With that being said, I've been Bo from Brutal Commentary, and thank you all for listening. Take care.